Donald Trump's latest tantrum is yet another attack on the First Amendment. He's so afraid of being made fun of, he's now getting comedians canceled. His latest target is Amber Ruffin, an Emmy-nominated comedian, panelist on CNN's Have I Got News For You, and longtime writer for Seth Meyers.
When people are objectively terrible, we should be able to point it out on television.
I thought that too, on Friday. But today is Monday, and Mondays, Amber Ruffin knows that when bad people do bad things, you have to treat them fairly and respectfully. When you watch The Sound of Music, you have to root for the singing children and the other people.
You mean the Nazis?
Calling them that is so one-sided.
I mean, just the whole reason we have a free press is so we can report stories, as they actually happen.
No, we have a free press so that we can be nice to Republicans at fancy dinners. That's what it says in the First Amendment.
She was set to headline this year's White House Correspondents Dinner, but that was until Trump's team threw a tantrum, called her hate-filled, and pressured the WCA to cancel her. But it wasn't just that she's a comedian, it's what kind of comedian. Ruffin is a queer black woman who speaks truth to power. That would be Trump's personal nightmare fuel.
Comedian Amber Ruffin, who has called the president a toddler with his pants pulled down, will be the entertainment for this year's Correspondents' Dinner. Does the White House have a reaction to this choice, and will the president be attending the dinner this year?
Certainly an interesting choice. I have the president's invitation on my desk. I have the invitation for myself on my desk as well. Haven't talked to the president about it. When he makes his decision, I will let you all know. But definitely an interesting choice of the comedian. I'll talk to the boss about it and see what we decide.
Certainly an interesting choice. That's press secretary code for we hate this, but we haven't figured out how to kill it yet. So when Ruffin appeared on the Daily Beast podcast and called Trump and MAG out, they clipped it and played victim.
Like, you're kind of a bunch of murderers. I mean, so like they were like, you need to be, equal and make sure that that you give it to both sides and blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be freaking doing that, dude. Under no circumstance. And they want that false equivalency that the media does. They want that. It feels great. It makes them feel like human beings. But they shouldn't get to feel that way because they're not.
Some people are more culpable than others.
That's right.
And they get more jokes made about them, and the jokes are meaner because they're doing things that are worse.
MAGA's war on cancel culture now includes canceling comedians for telling jokes about Donald Trump.
Point is that you're sowing the seeds of discord. And I used to be the same way. I thought, when people take away your rights, erase your history, and deport your friends, you're supposed to call it out. But I was wrong. Glad to find that out now, because if they had let me give that speech, ooh, baby, I would have been so terrifically mean.
Just burning everyone?
I would have been on one. Anywho, don't have time to teach you all this. I gotta go.
Yeah, where are you going?
I have to return the dress I was gonna wear to the Correspondents' Dinner. I already took the tags off, but I'm gonna just say they blew off in the wind.
Yeah, but that's lying, Amber. That's wrong.
You can't say that. That's journalism.
Nothing triggers an insecure dictator more than a punchline.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Yep, that kind of punchline. The kind that gives Trump PTSD over dinner. Now, you might be asking, why does this matter? Well, it's because Ruffin was headlining an event that's meant to celebrate free speech, not punish it.
The free press is a pillar, maybe the pillar of free society, not the enemy. Thomas Jefferson wrote, you all know this quote. Thomas Jefferson wrote, "We're left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government. I should not hesitate to prefer the latter."
The dinner is traditionally held to honor the relationship between the White House and the press and to raise money for scholarships that support aspiring journalists. It's also supposed to be a night where the president pokes fun at himself, his administration, the media, and a few political rivals. It's a dinner with some jokes, and ideally, no one gets deported or sent to jail the next day. And if you think canceling a comedian was just some sort of administrative error, like deporting a Maryland man with protected legal status to El Salvador and then saying, oops, Guess we can't bring him back. Think again. Amber Ruffin is just the latest name on a very long list of Trump's assault on the First Amendment, and this isn't new. Since taking office, Trump has stripped the WHCA of its authority to assign the press pool, so now he gets to decide who covers him. You know, like adding Tim Pool, a right-wing influencer who was paid by Russia to spread propaganda, and now he gets to join the White House press corps. Ban the Associated Press from White House events because they wouldn't rename the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Used ICE to detain and deport student protesters. Cut $400 million in federal funding from Columbia University to punish them for protest-related speech he didn't like. Ordered the Smithsonian to rewrite exhibits on race and gender to be more pro-America. Reopened FCC investigations into CBS and NBC for so-called bias. Tried to dismantle Voice of America and fire 1,200 journalists. Retaliated against law firms that took him to court, cutting contracts, banning them from federal buildings, and sending a message to every lawyer in America: represent Trump or get blacklisted. Because nothing says land of the free like banning media outlets, blacklisting lawyers, and rewriting museum exhibits. Now, as you might remember, Trump's relationship with the press usually consists of calling them
fake news
or branding them the enemy of the people.
We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all you get, and they are the enemy of the people. It's so nasty. They're so nasty. They're so evil. They are actually the enemy of the people. They really are. It's so evil. I think they make most of it up. But this was a made-up story by the New York Times. I call it the failing. It's a failing newspaper. It's failing. And they shouldn't do that. They really are the enemy of the people. Even that enemy, too, when they're really the enemy. They're the enemy of the people, the press. They're just bad people. And until we get a fair and free press in this country, they're just bad people. And these newspapers are really no different than a highly paid political operative. And it has to stop. It has to be illegal. It's influencing judges, and it's really changing law, and it just cannot be legal. I don't believe it's legal. CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
And just so we're clear what that kind of rhetoric leads to, here's what Trump supporters did to the press on January 6th. That's what happens when the guy at the top tells the base that journalists are the enemy. And it didn't stop there. Here's Trump supporters trying to storm the press pen at one of his rallies.
But the fake news media, it's 2016 we did great, but 2020 we did much better, generally. Since Kamala and the media don't want to talk about her radical record, we will.
But let's get something straight. Trump and MAGA love attacking people. It's not just part of their identity, it is their identity.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This was 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
That moment of Trump mocking a disabled reporter should have ended his campaign, but leave it to America's Christians to defend Trump like he was reenacting the Sermon on the Mount with jazz hands.
What is wrong with these people?
So when I see MAGA melt down over Amber Ruffin's jokes or Jasmine Crockett calling Governor Greg Abbott Hot Wheels, I couldn't care less.
We in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey.
Greg Abbott has caused actual harm, installing barbed wire that's killed migrants, cutting critical programs, and prosecuting women for life-saving abortions, just to name a few. MAGA is not above being mocked. They're actually beneath it, and yet somehow a joke about Governor Hot Wheels is where MAGA draws the line?
That would be hypocrisy.
The MAGA movement says they're tough, but the moment that someone makes fun of them, they melt faster than Rudy Giuliani's hair dye. Remember how triggered Trump got after Michelle Obama called him out?
I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. I hope that you'll forgive me if I'm a little angry that we are indifferent to his erratic behavior, his obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon, a known slumlord, a predator found liable for sexual abuse. All of this while we pick apart Kamala's answers from interviews that he doesn't even have the courage to do, y'all.
He immediately called her nasty like he was in a group chat with Andrew Tate.
With your support on November 5th, you know what's nasty to me? Michelle Obama. I always tried to be so nice and respectful. Oh, she opened up a little bit of a box. She opened up a little bit of something. Oh, she was nasty. Ooh.
Anyone else noticing a pattern here? Strong black women speak up, and like clockwork, Trump and MAGA lose their fucking minds. If a president can't handle jokes and a press corps is too scared to stand up for the people telling them, we're not just talking about canceled comedy, we're talking about the collapse of truth itself. And let's be clear, Donald Trump didn't just get offended. He pressured the WHCA to cave to his ego, and they folded like a bad poker hand at Mar-a-Lago. Instead of standing up for comedy, speech, and the literal First Amendment, they issued a press release that basically said, "Sorry, Daddy Trump, we'll be good now." Because when fascism knocks, the best response is apparently, what if we made it more boring? We did that back in 2019 with historian Ron Chernow, and boy, was it a snooze fest. Your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable and feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Upgrade your sleep this year. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe to try Miracle Sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Gabe at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe and use promo code Gabe to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Gabe to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. But here's where the math ain't mathin' for me. Just 1 month earlier, Daniels called Ruffin the perfect fit and praised her ability to provoke thought.
That is quite a challenge. How are you going to walk that line?
I think I'm going to do it the same way I always do it, by just telling the truth about how I feel. You know, I feel like we all feel a little sad. Well, some of us feel pretty happy, but a lot of us feel a little sad. And I think it's okay to say exactly what it is that's making us feel this way. And I think when you do that and people feel the same way as you, they think that it is fun and funny and it feels good to hear. And that's kind of where I operate from.
And now she's out and Trump gets exactly what he wanted. And yet MAGA's still crying over a comedian that Trump was never going to see in the first place.
So U.S. presidents traditionally attend this dinner. However, Donald Trump never went to it during his first term in office. Do you want him to be there this year?
No, don't nobody want to know. No one wants that. I mean, sure, it's something to do. Look, I can't imagine he would. I can't imagine he would. He should. He's missing out on one of the cool things about being the president of the United States, but I don't know that anyone's looking forward to being in the same room as him.
Donald Trump skipped the dinner every year of his presidency, and the last president who missed it was Ronald Reagan, and the only reason he did was because he had just been shot from an assassination attempt, and even he called into the dinner to make jokes. The reason that Trump skipped every one of those dinners is because he's still scarred from 2011 when Obama and Seth Meyers roasted him so hard that it singed his comb over.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke. Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic, because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Say what you will about Mr. Trump, he certainly would bring some change to the White House.
People like to say that the embarrassment from that 2011 dinner was the reason that Trump decided to run for president. But that's bullshit. Trump has been pretending to run for president since the 80s with the same failed policies he's using today. But one thing is very clear, he never got over that humiliating 2011 dinner, and that's the reason why he has never gone to and never will go to another White House Correspondents Dinner. So it makes sense why his current press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said that she won't go either. But if I had to guess why she's not going, it's probably because the last time that a Trump-era press secretary did attend the dinner, they got absolutely torched by comedian Michelle Wolf.
And of course we have Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We are graced with Sarah's presence tonight. I have to say I'm a little starstruck. I love you as Aunt Lydia in The Handmaid's Tale. And I'm never really sure what to call Sarah Huckabee Sanders. You know, is it Sarah Sanders? Is it Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Is it Cousin Huckabee? Is it Auntie Huckabee Sanders? Like, what's Uncle Tom but for white women who disappoint other white women? Oh, I know, Aunt Coulter. I actually really like Sarah. I think she's very resourceful. Like, she burns facts, and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. Like, maybe she's born with it, maybe it's lies.
Apparently, a smoky eye joke is offensive, but Trump tweeting racism? Totally fine. But the real reason that Republicans are terrified of comedy isn't just the punchline, it's the truth behind it. They know that their policies are a joke and not a good one. But they're also really bad at telling jokes, which makes their idea of starting a right-wing version of the Correspondents' Dinner hilarious.
Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my.
They ran that one so hard in the ground that even washed-up comics like Roseanne Barr started using it.
My pronouns are kiss my.
And don't even get me started on the vaccine jokes.
I still have my in-laws. My in-laws are like, we gotta get our flu shot, then a booster, then another booster. What are you, one of those conspiracy theorists? What are you, a cult member?
They've gone so far as to convince their base that vaccines are poison, so now we've got measles outbreaks in multiple states. And the guy running Health and Human Services? RFK Jr., an anti-vax, whale chainsawing, dog-eating lunatic. And he's laying off 10,000 workers. What a smart move, especially when, again, we have a f***ing measles outbreak. This whole party is a joke. MAGA and Trump can stomach cruelty, corruption, and even incompetence, but one thing they can't handle is being laughed at. Trump doesn't like to be criticized or mocked. He wants to be flattered, and if it's not flattering, he'll erase it or he'll replace it. The sad reality is the WHCA didn't protect free speech, they protected Trump's ego. And what we're left with is a warning. When comedy gets silenced to protect power, the truth is next. What Was That is fully independent and runs on your support. There's no team, no corporate backing, just me cutting through the noise and calling out the bullshit. So if you value this work and want to keep it going, please become a paid subscriber at whatwasthat.show. You'll get exclusive episodes, deep dive breakdowns, and articles you won't find anywhere else. That's whatwasthat.show. Go check it out and help support independent media. Prefer to listen while you're on the go? What Was That is available on all major podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, you name it. Until next time, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?